Hey, YouTube and Twitter fans. JC Shurburtt here with a Big Spur Brief here on March 3rd. Big weekend this weekend for South Carolina baseball. The Clemson series rears itself yet again. This is always kind of the unofficial start for baseball season. It's kind of when things get real. I think really for both teams. Clemson's 8-0 coming in. Good start under Monty Lee this year. Gamecocks are 7-1, and after kind of an iffy opener against UNC Greensboro, where they took 2 of 3. The Gamecocks have turned it around. They've won, 5 in a row? 6 in a row since game 3 of that series. So South Carolina plays at home on Friday night, 7 p.m. first pitch on the SEC Network Plus. Game 2 is also in Columbia, but it's at Surger Park, home of the Fireflies, 4 p.m. first pitch there. ACC Network Extra. It's a Clemson home game. Technically. And then on Sunday, 3 p.m., Doug Kingsmore Stadium, ACC Network there as well. The renewal of what everybody considers, or most people consider, especially in the Palmetto State, the best rivalry in college baseball. And I tell people this all the time, Gamecock fans, and I'll talk about it today on the Inside the Gamecocks podcast. South Carolina has nothing to prove in this rivalry. You want to win it every year. You want to win the series. But if you look at it, since 2002, South Carolina's played Clemson 6 times with the season on the line. They've won all 6 games, haven't even lost a game to the Tigers in the postseason. So there's always that, and I always mention it because the football overall series continues to get mentioned no matter how good South Carolina is or not, and has for the last 20 years. So just wanted to point that out to those of you that if Carolina happens to lose the series this weekend, you've always got that in your back pocket. But it's always a great weekend when Carolina plays Clemson in baseball. Very interesting press conference yesterday for football. You had several of the transfer portal additions. I think 5 of them spoke with the media. All 5 guys showed a lot of maturity. And the thing I took away from it first and foremost, and again, you can find these interviews and transcriptions and things like that on thebigspur.com, and I'll talk way in depth on the podcast today. But the thing that kind of hit me was that they all referenced the culture that Shane Beamer is trying to build at the University of South Carolina with the football program. Devontae Reed, for example, talked about, how everybody there loves ball. He's from Detroit, probably didn't grow up very familiar with playing at South Carolina or anything like that. Also talked about how impressive it was. And this was an impressive statement for a young man from Detroit coming from Central Michigan, how hard it was to turn a team around in the SEC. Spencer Rattler, the quarterback, also had some great things to say. He was asked several times about his experience at Oklahoma and really displayed a business-like approach in a press conference. And I think that's what you look for when a guy's speaking to the media for the first time at a new place and is taking questions that are fired at him and all that. But really good stuff there from all the players. South Carolina basketball this weekend, the men, the women start SEC tournament play Friday. But the men, and that's in Nashville, the men play at Auburn. Do or die, continues to be do or die for the Gamecocks as far as getting the elusive Q1 wins, boosting the resume. Frank Martin says if they beat Auburn, they should be in. I think the metrics beg to differ. And look, I'm going to say this. I agree with Frank that some of the stuff with efficiency, and Musselman from Arkansas even mentioned it yesterday after they beat LSU. Like, why do we keep winning games? We're 14-1 or whatever in our last 15, and our net ranking doesn't go up. It makes no sense. I think is the efficiency quotient, especially South Carolina. You look at, they're kind of toward the bottom of offensive defensive efficiency. I think it's a sad testament to any sport that's a team sport where you win and lose based on a scoreboard, to have like quality of play outweigh wins and losses. And if it were just South Carolina, I'd probably be a little biased in saying that. But since Musselman mentioned it from Arkansas yesterday, I thought I'd talk about that, but more in depth on that on the podcast coming later today. Inside the Gamecocks podcast, you can get that on Apple Pods, Audible, Spotify, and find it on thebigspur.com 24/7 sports. All those links for you to download that podcast each and every day. Most of you do listen to it but also wanted to remind those of you that maybe don't, that want more of this stuff. All right, it's been the Big Spur Brief. I'm JC Shurburtt. I hope all of you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and enjoy the best rivalry in college baseball and everything else going on around Carolina athletics. We'll holla at you soon.